Do you want to teach yoga in English but don't know where to? So in this video, let's talk about where and how you can gain experience teaching yoga in English. Hi, I'm MAIKU, your favorite English yoga teacher, and I help you do yoga in English with Japanese support. こんにちは、英語でヨガ講師 MAIKU です。So, you're a yoga instructor and you want to teach yoga in English and gain more experience teaching yoga in English, but you don't have any location to teach yoga. What can you do? So there are a few options you have, and the last one is a wonderful community I'm going to share with you. When teaching yoga in English, you can either do it in person or online. So I'm going to talk about both of those options. So if you're doing it in person, you can try to apply to a yoga studio. But if you feel like you're not ready yet and you want to still want to improve your English before you have like official proper lessons in a studio, this is what you can do. You can try doing park yoga and inviting your friends and their friends. And if you have English speaking friends, that is good. But if you're in a location or a smaller city, so if you're outside of the Tokyo or Osaka, Kyoto area, it might be difficult to find the English speakers who will join your class. But if you are in those more populated areas, I think, for example, in Tokyo, it will be a lot easier to get more English speakers and people interested to doing yoga in English to join your park yoga class. And with your park yoga, you can do it as free, so they don't pay anything, or you can do it as a donation, so the people pay as much as they want to pay, or you can have a fixed price. But if you're doing it free, I recommend you have a system where you get the contact details, so the email address. So you can do this by making a Google form where the people who want to join will fill out the Google form. So you just have their email and name, just so you get something back from this. And maybe one day when you have your own lessons, you can use that email address to contact them and hopefully they'll join. And doing park yoga also lowers the barrier and makes it easier for people to join the class because there's no commitment. It's outside, it's a bit more open, feels a bit more friendly. But the problem is with park yoga is the weather. So if it rains, it's cancelled. In the winter time, it's cold, so you probably don't want to do it. In summertime, it can get quite hot. So you have to be careful about doing park yoga because also there are good and bad places to do it. You want to find a place where the ground is level. Doing it on a slope is not fun. And you might want to think about somewhere which has a bit of shade. For example, people who have less melanin, so people who have lighter skin, for example, like me, doing park yoga in the sun, in Japanese summer, if I do not put any suntan lotion, any sunblock on, I will turn red as a tomato. So you just need to be more aware of people from different countries and how being outside can affect them compared to how it would affect you. And it also, you have to think about hay fever. So that is one big problem outside in Japan is hay fever. For example, I don't have hay fever when I was in the UK, but I think maybe I have some here in Japan because sometimes during the peak hay fever season, I will get a runny nose, but I'm not too bad. So you just have to be aware of this. You can also teach at your local community centers, but this might be a little difficult because usually you have to pay to rent out the room and they're quite and there are some strict rules regarding this. So with this option, you probably want to have the students paying. Let's talk about teaching yoga online. So since COVID or Corona, there has been a big boom with online yoga and doing things online. So before the pandemic, using things like Zoom was not common at all. But now many people have an understanding of Zoom and how it works, and they're quite happy to use it. So you can teach on something like Zoom. What are the good and bad points about using Zoom? If you have the free version and you have more than one person joining, so it's you and 2 students, there is a time limit. If you want to have many students join, you need to have the lesson kept shorter than the time limit. So when you start, the timer will begin. Or you can pay for the upgrade. And when doing yoga with Zoom, you want to try to have a booking system integrated with it. So this is the challenging bit. Most of them you have to pay for. There is a free one which I use called Luma. I'll put the link down in the description below. And this, you can create a page for people to register to join your class. It's free. And if you want to accept payments, you can through that website, but they take a bit of your payments. So if you're doing free yoga, it's very good. But it's all in English. So if you want to do it, you need to have an English level to understand how the website works. And you can put Japanese on your page, but some things will only work in English. So it can be a bit challenging for people who are not super confident with their English skills, but it's definitely recommended. There are other systems. For example, in Japan, a common one is Mosh, but I don't have too much experience with that. But try and find something that works good for you. So sometimes people will also create the event link and then just share the same link every time. This is okay, but if that link gets shared to an inappropriate place, that means anyone can join your event and can cause problems and trouble. I've heard stories from yoga instructors in different countries where that link has been leaked and spread to people who are not interested in yoga, but they are interested in other things which are inappropriate, and they would do things in the class which is not good. For example, they will talk or say bad things or other negative things I don't really want to talk about. So you just have to be careful if you use the same link every time. But a good thing with Zoom is you can use it for free. Everyone has a good understanding, and you can see if the students turn their cameras on, you can actually see the students and you can talk to them and you can have a conversation, build connections with your students. So using Zoom is also a very good option. Another way is to do it on social media. So there are 3 main social medias. There is Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So let's talk about Instagram first. This is a very popular app, and you can share things like videos, short videos, pictures, and you can do live streaming or Instagram Live. So doing Instagram Live, you do not need a certain amount of followers to do a live, which makes it a lot easier to do. But with Instagram Live, it only shares it to your followers. So you need to make up a following first before you can grow. And you probably want to do that by posting pictures, reels, carousels, so that's a mixture of the pictures and videos together to help build your community. So when you do go live, people are there to watch. And a good tip, if you're doing an Instagram live and you're going to archive it, so save it later so people can watch it afterwards, please remember the first 15 seconds is the most important because that's what people will see on their feed. So I recommend introducing maybe yourself, what the live is going to be about, and if you have anything you want to tell people watching. For example, hello and welcome to this Instagram live. I'm going to guide you through a flow to help with frozen shoulder. And try to focus it more on you rather than the plural instead of, hey guys, so today I'm going to guide you through, and try to make it more personal. And please never say, oh, I'm just waiting for a few more people to come and join. That's what you're saying then is the people watching, you're not important. I'm waiting for other people. So you need to value everyone who watches. So if you're a small community, you should try and encourage them to comment and say their name and hello and try to build a bond with the people watching. But if you're not going to leave it in the archive, you can start the video however you like because it's not going to be saved. And next is TikTok. So this is very popular with the younger generation and is all about short videos. And you can also do live streaming with TikTok, but there are some restrictions. So with Instagram, you don't need a certain amount of followers. Everyone can do live streaming, but with TikTok, you need around 1,000 followers before you can start live streaming. So with this, you need to post content to gain the followers. So this can be a bit challenging. There is a secret tip you can do, which I used to be able to go live streaming without getting the 1,000 followers, is you can put in a claim into TikTok saying you don't have the feature, and then say, like for example with mine, it's about teaching yoga in English and I want to help people do yoga in English. And they actually granted me the access to the live studio for TikTok, although I don't have enough followers yet. But this can take some time. I think it took about 1 to 2 months for it to actually come through. And it's not guaranteed, so they might not even give you the access. So getting 1,000 followers can be a challenge, but don't let that stop you. And one of the amazing things about TikTok is you can monetize, or you can actually get money from doing live streaming. So people who are watching can send you gifts, and those gifts can be turned into money, which then you can receive. So that's one good thing about using TikTok. And TikTok also shares to new viewers. So when you live stream, it will send it out to new people who can watch your live stream. And this can also help to increase your following. But one thing I've noticed is these sort of doing yoga live streams are not very common. It's more about having a conversation and talking. So you might find it a little bit difficult, but you can definitely give it a go. And if you want to make English yoga a habit, please subscribe to my channel so it helps to support me, so then I can help support you on your English yoga journey. And so you can improve your English yoga skills and become more confident and better in doing yoga in English. And the last social media is YouTube, which this is on. So YouTube is a platform where people will purposely watch videos and they will search for them, and they have a long lifespan or a long lifetime. Whereas on Instagram and TikTok, it's usually at 90 days, the videos then not get thrown away, but it's kind of they are not shared out as much. Whereas YouTube you can be watching videos that are 2, 3, 5, 6, even 10 years old, as long as it's relevant and people are watching and enjoying the video. So with YouTube, it's similar to Instagram. You can do the live video and then put it onto your channel so people can watch it later. And with YouTube, you can also have a chat along with the people viewing, and you can save that chat or you can delete it, it's up to you. So with YouTube, you can post short videos, long videos, and you can do live streaming. So you can make videos of you teaching in English and then post it onto YouTube so everyone can watch. But this can be a little bit scary because you're making the video, so you record it, you have to then edit it, and then you have to post it, make the thumbnail, which can be a bit daunting and a bit scary. But with practice, you can keep doing it and improving. And I recommend just keep it simple, record with your camera. If you have a mic, it's good. So that is maybe the most important thing, is having a mic, because if people can hear you, it's okay. But if the sound quality is bad, but they can see you beautifully, people will not watch the video. You need to make sure you sound beautiful. So you can also do short videos, which are the same as TikTok and Instagram Reels, and then doing live streaming on YouTube. So you have two options when doing this. You can make it a public video or a video where you can share the link, so only people with the link can see your video. So with the link, you can share to people. So if you have their email address or if you have another social media, you can share on there too. But if you're making it public, there is a bit of a restriction to your live video. It will not get shown to everyone unless you have a certain amount of followers. They kind of restrict your live streaming just so small creators will not suddenly be sent out and having loads of people watching, and this can be quite scary and sometimes can cause problems when random people who are not interested will watch your video. So it does have a little bit of, it has a cap on it, but once you get over that certain amount of followers, it will then make it so everyone can watch. And if teaching a whole class in English is still kind of scary, you want to do in a community where everyone is supportive and you don't feel pressured, there is a group known as Yoga Buh. And this is run by Yoko. So she also helps Japanese yoga instructors teach in English. She also does a lesson exchange. So usually Sunday nights, they have a Zoom class where they'll have a few different teachers who will teach a part of the lesson in English so they can gain experience. So this is probably one of the best and most comfortable ways to do it, because you only have to focus on one part of the lesson and not the whole thing. And you can also gain experience by watching other people teaching yoga in English as their second language, and you can look and be, oh wow, that's a good thing to do, or you can take note and be, that's something I should work on. And it's a very comfortable, nice community. And if you're interested in joining her community, I'm going to put her Instagram profile link down below. So just click on there, send her a DM, and she'll give you some more information about it. And sometimes I also join that community. So you might even see me there. And if you do, I look forward to it. And she is amazing. So I've also done a few things with Yoko. So we have done together, we did 108 sun salutations last year for New Year's, which was a very good and interesting experience to try for us as yoga instructors, as well as people who want to practice yoga and want to do yoga in English, but maybe it's difficult to go to a studio, or maybe they want to do part of the lesson but not the whole thing. So that was a good experience. So which one will you try, or have you tried? Let me know in the comments. I'm excited to see what you say. In every single English yoga class, you'll hear this one word. The word is relax. And you will usually find it towards the end of the class. But do you know how to say relax in a different way? So in this video right here, I'll talk about 33 different ways to say relax in English for a yoga class. So I'll see you in the next video.